Welcome back to Fight Network. Cody Saftik, and I'm now joined on the line by a very highly touted, undefeated Black-Zillion prospect. It's Carrington Banks, back in action June 17th on Bellator 156. Carrington, thanks for taking the time and jumping by the show.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
Now, you're coming off a layoff. You're going to be jumping back in action, taking on CJ Keith. I mean, this is a guy, he is crafty, he is a good veteran, but you train in a room with the likes of JZ Calvacante, Sean Soriano, Gilbert Burns. You have an awesome coaching staff. Do you really just get the confidence of your training room to just be able to take on anybody, or do you have to still go in there and be like, you know what, this is a big show veteran I got in front of me?
Both. Obviously training with the people that I train with, it raises your confidence, and, it gives you, the confidence that anybody you see is not going to be tougher than anybody that I train with. But at the same time, it's still a fight, so you got to be able to, you got to take everybody seriously. You can't overlook anybody. So both apply. If I'm going in really confident, but I'm not overlooking them.
Now, it seems like a very popular destination this time of year over in South Florida, being at the summertime, but I've also seen Sage Northcutt, current Bellator standout Michael Chandler, guys that are kind of visiting the gym. So for yourself, everybody always says, man, I'm having the best training camp of my life right now. For you yourself, has it been a great training camp, or what have been some of the difficulties you've been dealing with?
Yeah, it has been a great training camp, to be honest with you. I've just had a lot of time to just train in general, even before my camp started. So I've just been growing, throughout the process of me not having any fights. And I've had no difficulties. I've just been growing, getting better, my striking, my ground, all around. So just a good training camp, just looking forward to showing and showcasing my skills.
Now, wrestling fans, we remember you obviously from being a junior college national champion. MMA fans, however, they remember you from your stint on season 21 of The Ultimate Fighter. Now, you never lost on the show. You go in, you take a unanimous decision over Saba Hamasi, but just because of the way that that one particular season was styled, even though you win your fight, even though you're undefeated, that was literally the only opportunity you got. Was it frustrating to go into the house, win your fight, and not really have anything come out of it?
No, it wasn't. At the same time, I wanted the opportunity to fight again, but I understood that it might not happen going in. But the big thing for me was getting the experience and getting the exposure, which I did get. I got exposure, I got experience, and I was moving up a whole weight class just so I could be on the show. So we had a lot of other talented guys on our team who hadn't lost it as well. So I understood, their reasoning, for choosing the guys that they chose to fight, again in that third round, and I was cool with it. I was just blessed and happy to have had the opportunity because I initially wasn't going to get the opportunity. So I just made the most out of the fight that I had. I won. I got the exposure, and and I got the experience as well. So I gained something from it.
Now, when you look at Steve Montgomery, your original opponent that you're supposed to be taking on, he suffers a seizure, gets a contract anyways. You look at Nathan Coy, a guy that you wanted to take on, he loses his fight, goes 1-1 on the show, he gets a contract. For yourself, you're undefeated and you're still young, 27 years old. Did you feel like, this is a good opportunity for me, I can kind of go to the regional scene and pick some experience, or did you feel like, and you still feel like, I can beat the Nathan Coys and the Steve Montgomerys of the world?
Absolutely. I definitely feel that way. I felt like the UFC was sleeping on me. They still are. A lot of people are sleeping on me. And, just on the 17th is going to give me the opportunity to really show, how good I am and how good that I've gotten. Like you said, I want, with Steve Montgomery getting his opportunity, Nathan Coy getting his opportunity. I'm not hating on those guys. Congratulations to them. I'm happy for them. But at the same time, I feel like, that I'm just, a better fighter. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not hating on them. They're in a whole different weight class. So, we're never going to see each other. It's never going to, be a comparison between us because we're not in the same weight class. But at the same time, I felt like I was deserving of the opportunity, but I didn't get it. So moved on,
Now, let me ask you about, as you mentioned, jumping up a weight class. So you're a natural 55er going on to the show, which was obviously a welterweight season. You're a very highly touted prospect at 155 pounds, but as most people do, you don't want to be cutting weight all that time during the house, and you typically just jump up a weight class to compete there. But when you're supposed to take on Steve Montgomery, he's a gigantic guy. You had no worries about that. As you mentioned, wanting to take on a guy like Nathan Coy, who is a fairly sizable welterweight, would not be able to make 155. Sabah Hamasi is a welterweight. He fights all of his fights at 170 pounds, and you were able to go in there and put your will on him, use your wrestling, do the things that you wanted to do. So now that you're back at 155, if a fight presented itself at welterweight that was intriguing, something that you like, are you open to going back between both weight classes, or is this a firm lightweight's my home and I want to make a run at the title?
Yeah, lightweight's my home, man. I got a lot of work to do here before I start considering moving up to welterweight. Once I've done what I came to do, which is still going to take quite a while. Who knows how long it's going to take, but once I've done what I came to do, maybe I'll play with the idea of moving up to welterweight, but at the moment, I'm not considering it.
Now, in your last fight, good performance. If people ever question your ability to take a shot beforehand, that fight with Justin Reisberg, you basically silenced all critics. You've shown that you're developing an all-around game. Your next time out against Crenshaw, though, I got to ask you, you have a scheduled opponent. You show up to weigh-ins. He just no-shows. He never shows up. What actually happened there?
He said he had a family emergency. So, yeah, basically that was all I heard of it. He said he had a family emergency and he wasn't going to make it. And he didn't show up, so they were just like, hey, you're not going to have a fight. So, I was a little disappointed, but what can you do in that situation, So I've kind of had to eat that one and just say whatever, it is what it is.
Well, on the plus side, you went through a full training camp. Every single training camp you're going through is obviously improving you. So even though there wasn't a prize at the end of the tunnel, at least you still got that training in.
Exactly. Regardless of whether I'm fighting or not, I'm continuing to get better. And I'm looking at the big picture. And the big picture is always growing, always getting better, and always staying ready. So, I don't let little things like that get in my way or sidetrack me from the big picture. I've gotten better, I've grown, and I'm going to continue to get better and keep growing, whether a guy fights me or whether he backs out, I'm going to continue to get better, and I got better for that camp, so.
Well, as regional fights come and go, that seems to be almost a theme that comes up. Sometimes somebody no-shows, sometimes people pull out the last minute. But now, however, you're signed to Bellator, one of the world's leading MMA organizations. I don't think you're going to have any worries about people no-showing to the weigh-ins. But now you got your fight with CJ Keith. You have a big platform. You're going to be on SpikeTV.com, which is obviously a good setup way to have you on Spike TV main cards in the future with a solid performance. But is this opportunity with Bellator, is this Carrington Banks' real opportunity here to show himself and his skill set to the whole world?
Absolutely. This is definitely my opportunity to show my skill set, show my growth, show who I am, show how awesome I can be as a fighter. I'm just looking forward to completely just letting it, just really showing everybody how, great of a fighter I am. This is the perfect platform. And proving to myself, like you said, it's one of the better organizations in the world. I'm looking forward to proving to myself, that I can compete with the best guys in the world, and this is the platform that gives me that opportunity. So on both sides of showing the world who I am and proving to myself exactly who I am. It's a combination of both. I'm not overlooking him, but at the same time, I think that I'm better, in every position. And that's what I'm look forward to showing on the 17th. I think that my stand-up is better. I think that my wrestling is better, and I think that my ground game is better. And, he's not going to lay down and, allow me to just do what I want. So I'm just going to have to impose my will on him, like I do all my other opponents. So I look forward to showing that, though.
Now, fans of yours know you as your nickname Jet Setter. Now, a jet setter is someone who kind of travels the world, goes to the places that other people can only dream of. You're from Illinois. You wrestle in Iowa. Now you're training and living full-time in South Florida. What else does Carrington Banks dream of? What else do you want to accomplish and do and show the world?
Sure. Well, as far as fighting goes, I'm trying to accomplish, I'm going to be a champion. That's what we're working towards, to be a world champion, to be the best fighter, that there ever was. That's the belief that I have in myself. But on a larger scale, I just have so many things that I want to accomplish in life, and I think that this is going to be a great starting avenue towards where life's going to take me after I become a champion. So, it's just one goal at a time. But as of right now, I'm just trying to work my way towards becoming a champion one fight at a time. And like you said, Jet Setter is a person who goes places that other people haven't been, and not physically, but mentally, and just on a motivational level. The things that I'm trying to accomplish are going to be things that nobody has ever, or few people have accomplished. So I think that that's going to separate me from so many other fighters. My mindset and where I'm trying to go.
Well, step one of that journey will start on June 17th at Bellator 156 against CJ Keith. As you mentioned earlier on the program, people have been sleeping on you. I can guarantee you they will not be sleeping on you for much longer. You're a highly touted prospect. Big things will be coming your way, Carrington Banks. And thank you for taking the time today.
Yeah, thank you, my man. My pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Absolutely. You'll be getting a lot of interviews in the future, my man. Take care. Best of luck.
So, you too.